All right, let's go ahead and get started. Good morning or good afternoon, or if you're watching us on replay, thank you for doing so. We're going to kick off Fridays with Steve. That would be me. We're going to talk today about something called NCE. NCE is this horribly unfortunate name that's now been tagged to Microsoft licensing and how partners like Apex can help you work through it. In the beginning, it simply meant that they were updating their commerce experience so that customers could buy licenses in a different way. And unfortunately, like the project code name stuck, and so it's forever known as NCE. And we'll walk through some of the pieces today, as well as give you some action items, give you some information, give you some action items, and some takeaways. And honestly, I think the biggest one is how we can help, right? So I'll talk a little bit about this NCE journey that Microsoft has been on. I'll sprinkle in some flavor, as I was a Microsoft employee for about a decade, previous to the last couple of spots on my personal journey. And so I've actually been a party to this for a long, long time. Some of the changes that have happened recently with NCE, some are pretty important or affect customers and partners in some pretty meaningful ways. Some are like, they'll seem made up, but it's funny that this licensing program has to just envelop so many people in so many situations. We were commenting before we started, sort of in the green room, about how when you're doing a licensing program for hundreds of millions of seats, you end up with some edge cases. The problem is those edge cases are hundreds of thousands of seats or millions of seats, and so you end up having to adapt to them. But the key thing I want to cover is why you should work with us here at Apex. What you'll walk away with, a full understanding of NCE. That's a lie. That's not going to happen. It's a very complex program, and we'll hit some of the basics. We'll hit some highlights, and we'll hopefully partner with you to navigate the road together. It's also constantly changing, right? In the sense that products are coming and going, advancements are happening, and frankly, having a system that can better adapt than the old world. Things like Open and VL and EAs are part of my history. Having something that on a month to month or year to year basis can adapt to your needs, your sizes, the solutions you're using, is pretty critical. We'll talk about being successful with that and how to take the next step with us here at Apex. I joke that when I left Microsoft, I should have signed a deal that said I don't ever have to talk about licensing again. I didn't do that. And frankly, now, being in the partner world, with my role here at Apex and what we do for customers, it's a big part of how we add value to the Microsoft and customer relationship. So if you haven't been with us before, just a couple of things about Apex. We've been around a long time, over 20 years as a Microsoft partner. Been through the iterations, been through Web 1.0 and 2.0 and ASPs and now MSPs, and we've seen a lot. We're headquartered in Southfield, Michigan, but have national reach, especially national reach when it comes to the way the cloud has evolved, how all of us think and work. Gold partner and reseller, those things are being retired. We're part of the new cloud partner program, and have advanced specializations there as well. Hundreds of customers served, hundreds of deployments done. And that last one is key. I always hit on this one a little bit, which is we really value customer satisfaction. We really look at that and are well, frankly, we're motivated by it because it's part of how we pay our people. Having that customer satisfaction achieve a very, very high bar is part of how we hold ourselves accountable, how we hold the team at Apex accountable. And so it's really, really important to us. You can see some of the things around our business, our culture. Headquartered in Southfield, Michigan, in the town center. Love the office culture. Love the spirit and the team aspect of everything we do at Apex. And so let's dive in. All right. So NCE, or this new commerce experience, it's a code word for Microsoft licensing, delivered through partners, and delivered through the partners that know you best. If some of you know the history, there was this wide chasm historically between the partners that did licensing and the partners that helped you with your solutions, right? That wrote code for business applications, or helped you deploy Exchange, or helped you, automate a process or build security. There was this gap between the licensing provider and the solution provider, and that gap's gone away. It's actually great for a partner like Apex and others that fit that solution build to be able to also map onto your licensing. And so because of that, there's faster time to value. We can help, pivot you in any direction that we need to. Online tools, flexibility when it comes to seat counts and things like that. There's really some cost savings. Because we're working with you around this, we know what you're using and consuming, just like you do, and can tailor the licensing that way. To this day, we still find a lot of customers that when they come to us from other providers, we're able to, get return on investment right away, because frankly, sometimes we're able to retire some licensing or say, hey, why are you buying this when this will do? And so there's a lot of great things that having the solution provider, the solution partner being connected to, the underlying products and solutions that you're buying and licensing from Microsoft can be of tremendous help. And it's been, it's been a journey over the years to really say, how do we get, the right partners on point for delivering these things, and we've been able to add different pieces over time. The tools are better. The licensing is more holistic in that, everything that you need being available through the program. Even some of the perpetual licensing on-prem kinds of things, being able to satisfy those. And frankly, it's been a journey for us too. Historically, because of the separation, say 5 years ago and beyond, it wasn't something that partners like Apex had to know a lot about. And now we've got the expertise on board in our different teams, having been through this a number of times with dozens of customers. We've got that expertise at scale to be able to bring to you, right? So any individual customer benefits from all the experience that Apex has, having been on this journey as well. And so I just want to walk through some of the nuances, some of the changes, some of the things that are new. Being able to cancel subscriptions and prevent access immediately instead of suspending it. You've got 7 days, first 168 hours, and then you're billed for the full term. And so this is a great tool for us to be able to help you to say, hey, our seat count's changing. Do we need to upgrade, downgrade different pieces? Be able to work with you to be able to right size the licensing agreement. This, it could be monthly, it could be yearly, depending on, the choice you make about your subscription length. But one of the values we bring to customers is that, we know when these things happen, we're on top of it. I think the worst is, thinking just in my personal life, when I, go to return something on day 31 or something like that, we help you ensure that those things aren't going to happen. I'll leave this up for a second more just as a reference. I'm not going to clear all these slides. I'll actually kind of speak to it at the end of the presentation in kind of a funny way. But a good reference around the new cancellation policy and how that works within NCE. And so, like I said, monthly term, annual term, there is a price discount for annual. This is, it's interesting. I guess you can think about it both ways. I was sort of pondering it myself, right? Is it a discount for annual or is it an upcharge for monthly? Obviously, it's, empirically both. And I guess it depends on how you think about it, right? Maximize flexibility. You've got an incredibly variable workforce, let's say, or making changes, or, there's a pending large change. It may be worthwhile to think about monthly and paying for that flexibility, paying for that agility annually, and more steady businesses. Things are in place. Let's capture those savings. Let's make that commitment. The key being the choice is yours, right? And we want to partner with you to sort of, suss through that when the price increase came, or was announced about a year and a half ago. This isn't news. It was our job to work with customers to identify what the best path forward was. Not necessarily everyone better served by the discount, but we wanted to make sure that it was a conscious decision. I guess that's one of the things that I would highlight is Apex helps you make conscious and thoughtful decisions about all this stuff, right? Oftentimes customers find that they've made decisions they weren't aware they made. So we just want to help you be conscious about it. Subscriptions for Windows 365 a little bit different. There's less of a premium for month to month because Microsoft highlights the Windows 365 solution as being something that is about an elastic workforce, right? It seems a little bit disingenuous to charge you a big premium to say, be elastic with your workforce when this tool is designed to be elastic for your workforce, right? So if you're providing the desktop, if you're providing the Windows experience via Windows 365, the licensing is just a little bit different, a little bit less of a discount for going annual, just because it is so targeted towards that elastic workforce. Again, I know our CTO Sean Leahy he's very big on Windows 365 being an elegant solution in a lot of cases, and so know that we both have the solution expertise as well as the NCE expertise when it comes to Windows 365. And so a lot of information in the next few slides, kind of where we've come from, where we're at and how that impacts you, multi-year billing plans, reconciliation files provided, things that are tools for us to help you stay on top of where we're at when it comes to licensing. We have solution offers on the front end of your CSP engagement with us. CSP, cloud solution provider, also kind of a name you'll see in this licensing space as well as NCE. So if you're starting a relationship with us, we love digging in, doing an assessment. Hey, what do you got? What are you using? What's sitting on the shelf? What's underutilized? We do that up front. We can do reviews over time, being intimate with billing and with your licensing. We have a great sense of what's going on. And then it leads right into our professional services and our managed services and being able to help you. So here's a few examples of things that have been improved in NCE. I don't think there's any ones I want to hit on tremendously detailed, but Microsoft is working hard to build in the flexibility to really sort of match how people buy, including some things that help them, like enforcement. And I put a different spin on that subscription enforcement as they're sort of talking about it, stacking free trials and all those kinds of things. At the end of the day, for a number of customers, we've had to sort of unwind this. Like it seemed like a good idea, or it seemed like, hey, we're, getting an extra 30 days or 90 days free. Oh, that must be worth something. Oftentimes, as we help customers unwind some of that, move into, away from trials and into actually purchasing the subscriptions, they'll find that it wasn't worth it, right? That it was actually more of a challenge to, manage all the different subscriptions, have these pools that came from all these different spots. Adam Vick on our team, one of our account executives, is actually working with a customer right now, trying to help them unwind something very similar to this, right? All kinds of different sources for licensing mixes that are kind of crazy. Different people having different subscriptions for no apparent good reason. And so Adam's helping them navigate that. And when we go to onboard them with our services, we're really going to focus on making sure that everything is right sized for them. The big one here is scheduling changes. We can do that ahead of time. Seat assignment, with upgrades with the enterprise level SKUs. What about auto renewal? If you have Sirius XM in your car, I would have said AOL in the past, but people probably don't know AOL and AOL CDs in the mail anymore. So I'll pick on Sirius XM. Canceling that, or the auto renew toggle is just, it isn't something, it's part of their business model that they're hard to cancel, right? It's part of their business model that it auto renews. So we've got some tools in this space to help you sort of design the right way you want to interact with licensing with the CSP and NCE program, so that it best suits your business, right? Is your business, agile and growing? Is it elastic? Is it relatively steady, right? We have customers across the spectrum that have sort of those different flavors, and having the expertise to bring in these different tools, these different approaches, and map it to what makes the most sense for them is really the benefit of working with Apex. We were joking again in the green room, coterminosity. It sounds like a made up word. I guess I can figure out what it means, but this is actually a big deal. Which is, especially with the introduction of the annual subscription, if you added subscriptions throughout the course of the year, let's say you did the bulk of your renewal in March, and you did all those seats, did all those products, for a year back in March, and then something happened in June and you had to add some stuff, and something happened in August and you had to add some stuff. Well, now we can bring all those dates together, right? Give you one renewal date. And so now we can bring those terms together. And that's something that is relatively new. And I know our team is working with our customers to do a lot of this work right now. Customers are opting for, hey, let's get these dates aligned. It helps with my budgeting process. It helps with my logistical processes, to have all the different subscription renewal dates aligned and be together year over year. I did want to talk briefly. I grabbed some list pricing and sort of the public face of three different sorts of flavors of SKUs. And if this world is unfamiliar to you, I guess this will be a real quick, hopefully good, primer on some different things. I'm going to start with M365 Business. And the reason I start there is we have a lot of customers less than 300 seats, right? And so the business SKUs are designed for seats 1 through 300. And the reason they're capped at 300 is they're a tremendous value. You'll see this here in a second, comparing these list prices to get the advanced functionality. We've had a number of customers where, again, we've been able to provide them return on investment working with Apex immediately by saying, well, why are you buying this? You're a 200-seat organization. We can get all the functionality we need and maybe even more at a lower price point by using the business line of SKUs. This view also has a great visual, which is the ability to see what's in and what's out, especially when you talk about basic, standard, and premium, right? You can see that basic is just the web and mobile apps. Standard brings in the desktop apps and a couple of additional services. And then Business Premium is really sort of the premier SKU for folks less than 300 seats, right? Advanced security, Intune, and management, the things that you get from the advanced enterprise SKUs for the smaller businesses. These are just public list prices. Your mileage may vary, and we have a process that goes through and generates unique quotes and things that are unique to your environment every time we work with a customer. So this is the business line up to 300. Then you get into Office 365 and enterprise, right? So this is 1 to a billion seats. Microsoft would love to sell you a billion seats. There's sort of that same flavor, just the apps, and then sort of the E1, E3, E5. I don't have the same cute little pictures that I had with Business Premium, but you can see that this is that same, give me the basics, give me a little bit more, a little bit more security, a little bit more management, a little bit more compliance, and then the granddaddy, right, including things like Team Smoke, and that's E5. You can see those public list prices, and if I just flip back real quick, so E5 really sort of comparable to Business Premium. Pretty big delta, right? The challenge being, or based on your business, is that are you at that 300 seats? If you're at that 300 seats, then Business Premium sunsets. And then there's M365, which takes E3 and E5 and includes Windows, includes the desktop licensing and the ability to have it all in one package. Again, thinking back to my enterprise experience with Microsoft, always an interesting world to live in with buying your PCs, what licensing is on them versus buying them correctly and licensing them as a part of your EA or your volume licensing. Sort of the same principle here, right? Can we bring it all under one roof if it's something that you're doing or want to do together? So these are just a few quick reference slides. The net of this all, and for those of you who aren't sort of laughing already, I'll explain who this gentleman is. The net of this all is we really want to help you. And Andy Kaufman was a comedian. We think was a comedian. There's a little bit of a debate about that. In the 70s and the 80s, I'm a child of the 70s, and remember seeing him and being baffled by some of the stuff he would do. One of the things he would do is he would get on stage and do things like read the phone book until people started booing and leaving his comedy performances. I feel a little bit like Andy Kaufman today because NC is kind of boring, right? It's complicated. It is without the help of a partner like Apex, it is not a value-added activity, right? And I feel a bit like Andy delivering these slides today and talking a bit about NCE and licensing. That it's just kind of like being on stage and reading the phone book. The net of it is we're here to help, right? Part of our website, part of our business, part of our expertise is really around making this simple for you, right? And not just making it simple for you, but making it match and making it support business outcomes, right? By getting the right solutions in place and then maximizing their utility, making sure we're using them. Hey, if you've got advanced security and compliance, let's put it to work, right? Or vice versa. If you're getting advanced security and compliance from another provider and a whole nother bill, can we go into this world and bring it to bear less expensive and more integrated and better positioned for success in your environment. Don't go it alone, right? Let us help you on this journey, right? It's great that Microsoft has moved into this world of cloud and cloud licensing and all of these kinds of things. But having a partner guide you, whether it's just this part of your business, just the NCE part of your business, or whether it's NCE matched with professional services and managed services, those two things together can be really powerful. And so let us help, right? Contact your Apex account executive. I mentioned Adam earlier, Adam or anyone on the team. We're experts in this. Let us help you. If you're not currently an Apex customer, go ahead and reach out, whether it's to sales@apexdigital.com, or as always, drop me a note, sthompson@apexdigital.com. Obviously, we're originally streaming this from via LinkedIn. It's really easy to see my profile and connect to me from here. I'm 100% open to that. Would love to connect and see how Apex can help you. Our website, we do try and bring things to the community as well, whether it's ebooks and infographics and information that you can find useful, whether you're a customer or not. So please go ahead and visit the website, take a look around. Great resources for you. But I think, I think we can help, right? We even have a number of customers right now that are coming from suboptimal CSP partner relationships, right? Folks that aren't paying attention to detail, partners that aren't paying attention to detail, partners that have this as maybe a part of their business but not a focus, or don't have the level of expertise, or perhaps you're just a fish in a very large pond. With us, every customer is special. I talked about how we think about customer satisfaction, how it directly impacts our compensation. None of our CSP customers are unhappy with their CSP relationship with us, because we don't allow it, right? We fix it. We bring the team in and we fix it. And so even if you've got an existing relationship, sure, there can be price differences. There can be, different approaches to how, we deliver the business to the market. But I think the way we justify the value we bring is through customer service, is through our professional and managed services, through our expertise in the technology, not just the licensing. I think it's pretty special when you bring those two things together. Before we go, just want to mention next Friday, we'll be having another get-together. I'll be joined by Jamie Waterfield from 8x8. 8x8 is a great provider of advanced calling and routing functionality to really support your team's phone experience. So in the vein of NCE and sort of like licensing and what goes with what, we're going to talk about phone, Teams phone. We're going to talk about meetings. We're going to talk about Teams rooms. And then with Jamie's help, we're going to talk about some of the advanced stuff. For a lot of folks, Microsoft as a voice provider, as a dial tone provider is good enough, right? For others, based on capability you need, based on devices you have, we've partnered with 8x8, and I'm really excited to have Jamie join us and talk about what they bring to the table and how this Apex 8x8 and Microsoft combination can really meet all your needs in this space. So that'll be a fun one. I'm looking forward to having a guest. 30 minutes of Steve every Friday is a lot. I know, I get it. And so having her join me and really be an expert on that advanced space, that 8x8 space that we partner with, will be great. So thanks for joining me. Appreciate the time. Give us a call. Don't go it alone when it comes to your NCE journey. We're here to help. And as always, thanks. We'll see you next time.